room was eerily silent as I settled into the chair, my heart pounding with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The scientist's voice echoed in my mind, explaining that this experiment would push the boundaries of my mind, plunging me into an ocean of darkness where only my thoughts would accompany me. They assured me that I would be safe, monitored at all times. I swallowed hard, convinced that this was just another step on the path to self-discovery. I had volunteered for this experiment to earn some extra cash, thinking that a few hours of sensory deprivation couldn't be that bad. They had assured me that I would be safe and monitored at all times. Yet, as the minutes ticked by, my confidence began to wane. The lights dimmed, and I felt the weight of the darkness press against me like a tangible entity. The heavy door shut with a soft click, and I was engulfed in an all-encompassing blackness. The initial minutes were soothing, a chance to escape the constant barrage of stimuli from the outside world. I focused on my breathing, the rhythmic inhales and exhales, a lifeline in the abyss. Time became a blur. Minutes stretched into hours, and my thoughts began to dance at the fringes of my mind, unpredictable and untamed. The silence was no longer serene. It was a cacophony of distant whispers and the faintest echoes of forgotten memories. I reminded myself that this was part of the process, my consciousness adapting to the void. Then, a sliver of doubt crept in. Was that a footstep I heard? I brushed it off as a byproduct of my mind's attempt to grasp onto something tangible. But the footfalls continued, growing closer and more distinct. Panic stirred within me. I strained my ears, every nerve on edge. Someone, or something, was in here with me. Hello? I called out tentatively, my voice swallowed by the darkness. No response. The footsteps persisted, a haunting rhythm that seemed to reverberate through my very bones. I clenched my fists, my heart hammering against my ribs. Maybe it was a trick, a manifestation of my own fears. But deep down, I knew this was real. The footsteps circled around me, always just out of reach. I turned in every direction, desperate to catch a glimpse of the intruder. The whispers grew louder, overlapping into a dissonant chorus that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if the darkness itself was alive, mocking me, playing with my sanity. Then, an image formed in the abyss, a faceless figure, its features obscured by an impenetrable void. I froze, the air thick with an unspoken threat. The figure moved closer, its form shifting and distorting, like smoke caught in a breeze. I tried to look away, to close my eyes and shut out the terrifying apparition, but its presence bore down on me, forcing me to confront it. With each step it took, my pulse quickened. Its approach was deliberate, malevolent. I could almost hear its breath, ragged and unnatural. I had to escape. I pushed myself out of the chair, stumbling backward. But the room stretched impossibly, the walls expanding like a maddening funhouse. The figure was inches away now, and though it had no discernible features, I could sense its gaze upon me, cold and piercing. I choked back a scream, my mind a whirlwind of terror. I had to fight, to resist the paralysis that gripped me. Summoning all my willpower, I lunged forward, crashing into the figure, or what felt like it. It was like trying to grasp smoke. My hands passed through its form without resistance. And then, it vanished, leaving me standing in the suffocating darkness. The room flickered, and reality seemed to shift around me. The walls bled with grotesque images, violent scenes that twisted my stomach. A guttural sound, a cross between a growl and a moan, resonated through the air. It was as if the very fabric of the room was unraveling, revealing a nightmare beneath. I stumbled backward, my breath ragged. The room was alive, a pulsating, malevolent force that fed on fear. The whispers escalated into frantic cries, like a chorus of tormented souls begging for release. I clutched my ears, desperate to shut out the haunting symphony. And then, as suddenly as it began, everything stopped. The room was plunged into silence once more, the darkness retreating to a bearable level. My heart pounded, and I sank to the ground, gasping for air. The heavy door creaked open, and blinding light flooded in. I shielded my eyes, disoriented and shaken to my core. The scientists rushed to my side, their voices a soothing balm after the ordeal. "You did well," one of them said, helping me to my feet. "It was intense, but you're safe now." I nodded weakly, my limbs trembling. As they led me out of the chamber, a chilling thought coursed through me. What if the darkness hadn't truly left? What if it was still lurking, biding its time, waiting for another chance to consume me? That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't shake the feeling that the room's malevolence was still with me. My pulse quickened with every shadow that flickered across my vision, every whisper that seemed to linger in the air. The boundaries between reality and the darkness I had encountered had blurred, leaving me haunted by an experience that had shattered my perception of the world. And as I stared at the ceiling, the darkness seemed to stretch and expand, reaching out for me, threatening to pull me back into its embrace.